Good morning, everyone. Hi, welcome once again. It's a lovely Friday morning, isn't it, Yen?
Happy Friday!
Happy
We all need
Friday.
a bit of coffee.
Keep calm and career on. So anyway, once again, my name is Adrian. I'm the CEO and founder of Career Agility International, and right next to me is Yen.
Hi everyone, I'm Yen and I'm happy to be here on another Friday.
Another time
because
flies.
I love Fridays. I love Fridays.
Where's the time gone?
I don't know. And you were saying yesterday on radio that it's 95 days to Christmas. So it's 94 days to Christmas
94
today.
days to Christmas, or wherever. If you're listening in this episode on Spotify, well, it could be Christmas time. In which case, Merry Christmas.
Well, we're heralding the season
Yes,
and bringing
time.
it on quickly.
Time is amazing. So once again, for those of you who may not be so familiar with us, we are Career Agility International. We are a team of very experienced career strategists who help you find career happiness and achieve career success through career clarity.
Yeah, and we do this every Friday because we want to share with our listeners, a couple of tips and tricks that perhaps can make your life just a little bit easier. And that's what what are we talking about today?
Today, we are talking about a very interesting topic, which is the 5 stages of grief, but not so grief. Okay, I admit it's a bit of a clickbait, it's a bit catchy, but if you notice a lot, in this week alone, a lot of our clients are landing, and you just organized
An onboarding
onboarding
workshop.
session last
Yeah.
night. Yeah. What are the things you need to look out for in the first 30 days, 60 days, 90 days?
Yeah.
And there's a great book out there called The First, 90 Days?
I don't know.
I have no idea either, but it's one of those books which you can get from the library. It's like 400 years old.
Or you can just Google your first 100 days at work. That's another way. But the reason why we're talking about this, it's not necessarily the 5 stages of grief, but it's really about managing change, isn't
Yeah,
it?
it's
So
it's the 5 stages.
one of my clients had her whole team absorbed into another team, and she was explaining the issues, and I said
No.
it sounds like you need to grieve for what was lost because your team is no longer the same.
That's true.
So
But
there is
also-
change is about
Grief, grief management. Oh no, yeah, it's like okay. How much would someone have to pay you to switch out your iPhone to an Android?
It depends. I have tried. I was on the iPhone for a long time, and then I switched over to the Samsung for a bit,
Yeah.
and then I switched it back. The only reason I did that was because the whole family was on
okay,
an Apple,
okay.
so I needed to make sure that was
a
part
common
of the
platform. Okay, that makes sense.
yeah common platform.
Most people, I read this article. Most people will not. Even for $1 million, they won't change it forever. Especially if you're an iPhone user.
I'm bilingual, by the way. Bilingual as in I use both Mac and PC, and
PCs, okay.
PC and Mac, different languages.
No, Macs don't work for me. So, but ultimately, change is difficult.
Yes.
And we want to just talk about what happens when you land your new role. A lot of times, like what Yen always says, people plan for the wedding but not for the marriage.
Yeah, you got to see a long term, you got to plan for the long game, and you have to be a bit more strategic about each move you make.
Yeah. So a lot of
Yeah.
people plan for the job landing. They get a job, they go, yay! And
I'm
now
done.
what? Now what?
Yeah.
It's the old story about the old saying about the dog chases a car.
And once he catches it,
What are you gonna do with it?
what are you going to do with it?
Yeah. So what's the dog gonna do with the car once he catches the car? It's like, oh, what am I gonna eat it or what? So now that you have landed the job, that's just the first step.
Yes. Now you
and-
need to be successful.
And there's an old piece of advice which I always give my candidates when I was hunting. It's like be careful of what you wish for because you just might get it. And then you get that big promotion, that big role, that big everything, and then you go like, what
Yeah.
do I do next?
Yeah. So let's go through that. So what are the 5 stages of grief?
So the 5 stages of grief, if you're looking at it.
Psychology
let's go.
lesson coming up.
Psychology lesson, yeah. And I'm gonna boost it up here so all our viewers on LinkedIn Live can watch. Ultimately, what we're looking at is, for those of us on our Spotify channel, we're looking at the Kubler-Ross change curve. If you can just pop over to Spotify and have a look at the picture here, it says that, whenever there's change, there are a lot of emotions that come along with it. The first is shock and disbelief. It's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe. Okay, let me tell you what upsets me the most, okay? It's going to sound very uncle of me. When my favorite NTUC FairPrice or wherever supermarket decides to change all the
changes the
location.
floor plan.
The floor plan.
Yes.
Say, why do you do that? It's annoying. now with the milk, I got to go there. Then
Yes.
it just upsets me to no end. I can't
And
take
it's
it.
and it's very minute. It's such a small thing, but
Yeah.
it irritates you
Yeah.
no end.
So-
it's the same with any change. Sometimes a company, you're using the product, you're happy with the shampoo, and then suddenly that shampoo is gone, and they've upgraded it to something else.
Yeah, they either change the formulation or make smaller pack more expensive.
So change
So for me,
is-
it's
yeah.
for all of us, the first response to change is shock and disbelief. Like, what, seriously? And this applies to many things, from being diagnosed with a health condition to being retrenched. Things like this. Shock and disbelief, which sometimes lead to anger. It's like, what? Okay, the anger piece, I confess, whenever my supermarket changes its floor plan layout, I actually go up to the auntie and I tell auntie, why like that?
There's been so many changes. I've gotten used to it. But you're right. I would go to that same section all the time to go get the mushrooms, and then the mushrooms disappeared. And then you're looking around for it, and they move it somewhere really far.
Yeah.
And that's not great. No,
Yeah.
no. But and the seasonal things, I don't like it too. And you know that they start changing the music in the supermarkets.
Oh yeah, it's
And
okay. It's
I know, and then they start putting displays, and then they block the thing. Anyway.
And
Yeah.
after anger, a lot of times it's bargaining. It's like, hey, how about this? How about that? How about we don't go to this cursed supermarket anymore?
somewhere
Let's go
else.
somewhere else. And then there's a certain period of grief and sadness. And then after a while, you come to terms of it, and then there's acceptance. So it's a curve.
Yeah.
The thing to know about this curve
Yes.
is that it's not linear.
Yes. And sometimes you can revisit the emotions back and forth.
Five times in a day, sometimes even.
And sometimes the curve can be very long and protracted. And sometimes you can get from shock to acceptance very quickly. But there will be those minute emotions that you would feel as you think about it and process it. So whenever something happens and you're processing it, that's exactly the stages you go through. And you can sometimes jump in between. You can accept it, and after you get a bit annoyed.
True.
And then you go hang on, why am I
minute,
accepting
wait a minute,
it? Why
wait a
should I
minute.
why should I be the doormat here? And so
Yeah.
there are a variety of emotions that go through us.
Yeah. So whenever we talk about change, there's a general format. So even when you are experiencing change for a good thing, like landing a new job.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a changes. So that's why today we wanted to share a bit more about what it's like. So the first stage is happiness, excitement, elation, exhilaration.
It's a good feeling because you're suddenly getting dressed for a reason and you feel good about it.
Especially
you're
if your
excited.
previous job sucked.
And you
you hate your
get
previous
ready.
boss.
You get ready, and you're thinking good thoughts.
Yeah.
Right? Oh wait, I can't wait. I must be early
Yeah.
today, and you go, I hope the traffic's okay. And then nothing kind of gets you down. You know,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter. The guy cut you off. Never mind. On my way to my new job, so you're feeling kind of happy. If you were a dog, your tail would wag.
Yeah. So the other thing that's interesting also is that we like to call this the honeymoon period. The first month or two, where there are no real expectations of you to deliver anything serious.
Yeah.
So the pressure is not really on you yet.
Yet. That's
Yet.
a big one.
Yet.
So you're feeling kind of optimistic.
And everyone treats you nice.
You have a fresh start, so to speak. It's nice to be neutral and not be part of any.
Yeah, and then about your
Dynamic.
any factions.
There are no factions yet.
Yet. And when you get to that office of yours, and you go like, oh, nice. Oh, got a view. Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Things
yeah,
like that. So,
yeah.
that happy stage is where a lot of us in the first month or so enjoy life. And I think it's okay to enjoy it.
I think you should make it as long as possible. This optimism, this emotion of
This
of
blind
excitement.
optimism. Oh no.
Yeah, I think you should try, because some of us, sometimes when we land the job within day one, we go like, oh no.
Yeah. One thing I like also is exploring especially if you're joining a really big company, exploring the gym, exploring the spa. no such thing. Only if you join Google or Facebook.
If the
I guess.
organization
Yeah.
has it on campus, I
all the perks.
think it's also quite fun to explore like the surrounding cafeteria, the coffee shops,
Yeah.
the food options in your new location. I mean, that sort of change is nice.
I once went to a particular technology firm, and wow, the toilets were amazing. I'm seriously amazing. Okay,
It's
piped in
because
music.
gens are always kind of gross, and this is clean.
Yes, but it was one step, many steps above clean. They had mouthwash, they had toiletries.
Wow.
Maybe everyone there has halitosis, maybe. That's why they're going to put mouthwash for everybody. I have no idea why. But it was amazing because the toiletry sets over there, it
You know why
felt
they
like a
made?
hotel.
I think they made it nice so that the staff don't want to go home because they
I
have to
think
shower
so.
there and they have to pretty
think
much
so.
spend 24 hours.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's-
subtle
it's-
hints for
it's-
you that is welcome to your new life.
It's not a good thing.
So the stage, the honeymoon period is still fun, but don't spend all the time just in oblivion. There are things that you can do during this honeymoon period while there's no pressure on you.
Yep.
And that's what we're going to talk about. And how long does a honeymoon period normally last in your experience?
Well, it really depends, which is the consulting answer to every question. It really depends. If you are a very senior individual and you know that you've been hired specifically to make those changes happen, and then when rubber hits the road, you've got to get started. So I don't think there's a lot of time for
Yeah.
excitement and exhilaration.
that's true.
So it is different for everyone. I think if you're younger,
Yeah.
then it's always okay because when you join, you're a rookie, you're a real rookie, and everyone's nice to you because you're not threatening.
Yeah.
But if you are in senior positions,
Especially if
it's
you're expensive.
different. Oh, right.
And then the meter's running, and the senior management is going like, okay,
Yes,
I brought you in.
yes, yes.
Or if the predecessor left a whole pile of poop.
Yeah, and you have got to clean it up. So this I've in my experience, I've heard stories where the excitement stage lasted an hour. Right?
that was just in the
Do you
car park,
remember
right?
that story?
Yes.
The man, I mean the gentleman went into the office and immediately felt the bad vibe.
Yeah, which comes to talking about poop, which comes to our second stage, which is, oh dear,
yes.
oh crap. Okay, when you suddenly realize that, oh now that's why they're paying me so
That's
much.
why they had the role vacant
Yeah,
in
yeah,
a season where no one generally hires.
Yeah, or that's why four of my predecessors left within 3 months. Oh, that's why.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's that. Or the worst shock to ever receive when you land a new role is, you try to report to your boss and find out,
He's on his way out.
He's on his way out.
He's
Or what's it?
leaving.
He's
Yeah.
left 2 weeks ago. He didn't even tell you.
Yeah,
it happened.
It happens a lot. I hear this a lot. Someone lands the job, and when on the day they come in, is the day the boss takes them out to lunch and says, "Oh, by the way, I've already tendered my resignation, so I'm going to spend this month transitioning to you." Then your jaw drops. Like,
And then that's
okay,
the oh crap moment.
Yeah.
And one true story, I had this. I know this one of our clients. She joined a team, a company, under the data analytics side. Now the company doesn't know anything about data analytics at all. Okay, and the boss was spearheading a brand new division, brand new vision, everything. And then so she joined based on the boss's vision and everything. And when she joined, the boss said, "Oh, by the way, I'm leaving in end of the week." And the worst thing is the new boss that comes in knows nothing about AI,
Yeah,
knows nothing
and
about
there
it
was
all.
there's no support for this
for
new
this initiative,
vision.
and they have no idea what to do.
That sucks.
Yeah, that sucked. So sometimes the old poop comes in, and that's where you need to buckle down and brace yourself.
Yeah, we have a lot of strategies for that. I mean, the fact is, if you are hired to do something, be prepared to land a job you did not interview for.
That's true.
We know that
That's right.
from day one, because from the moment you tender resignation, you serve your notice, and then you land, things unfold.
Yeah.
Minds change, and then you turn up for work, and suddenly your job scope, the one that you signed up for, is not quite the same.
Yeah,
but,
and
we
it's
all
okay
know
if it's
that.
not quite the same. If it's
Completely different.
completely different, diametrically opposite of what you were supposed to bring to do.
Gosh,
Then
come talk to us.
it's tricky. Come talk to us. And sometimes when you join, suddenly the targets change, becomes bigger. Suddenly there are lots of things. So I think one of the key things we need to do is to be adaptable.
Yeah.
And I agree with you. I mean, if you come in with a mindset of this is not going to be fixed,
Yeah. Yes. Then you're okay.
I think you're okay.
Yeah,
If you're
because you're
adaptable,
expecting
if you're
changes.
agile,
Yeah.
it's okay. But unless they bring you in as a finance person, suddenly they tell you, "Hey,
Go do sales."
Here's a list of cold call people, cold call clients."
And that has happened to one of our clients
Yes, it
before.
has
I mean,
happened. It has
it's smaller organizations that are a lot more fluid. And yes, I hire you for operational work, but then at the same time, you need to do account management. What?
So I got a question for you. So. Okay, I got a question for you. What if you join, and after 3 weeks you realize that the KPI is totally different from what you signed up for. You're supposed to manage a team, but you're not managing a team. Suddenly you are looking at supposed to handle finance, but now you're handling operations and the pantry. Okay, and it's going to take up a lot of your time, and they're giving you lots of stuff which is very,
It
very
was
totally
not part
off
of the
spec.
deal. Yeah.
What do you do? Do you hang in there? Do you resign on the spot? Or what do you do?
Yeah,
Don't say depends.
I would contact Adrian Chu and have a long discussion because I need more information. A happy outcome would be because you've been looking for work, so you've got multiple options. So you haven't quite tendered the resignation. I mean, you have.
I mean,
Sorry,
you had
you've
tendered.
tendered the resignation, but you haven't quite declined the other opportunities.
Yeah.
And so there are other opportunities in the pipeline. You're only 2 days in, you realize that the boss is leaving, or things are changing, and so you're gonna hang on. Thank you very much for your time. I think I probably serve my 1 week and make a change, make a move, because this was not what we agreed, and then I've got backup number 1 and backup number 2. So that would be ideal, but we need to unravel a lot more, because I guess the variable here is how prepared are you to quickly jump into another environment.
Yeah.
Are you prepared? If you're not prepared, then you need to stick it out.
Yeah.
It's a question of survival versus
And there are lots of other variables
yeah.
involved, like what you said. So it depends.
And it's a long way of saying it depends.
It depends. Lots of variables involved. If you find that you've jumped into the wrong tank, okay, if you think you're jumping into the deep end of the pool, but turns out that you jumped into the septic tank, then
or one that's filled with sharks and electric
yeah,
eels.
come talk to us. Okay,
need to
we'll
get
help you
out,
to
yeah.
unwind,
Yeah.
because you also need to figure out a narrative. Then the next question is, do you declare to the next company that you joined that, hey, by the way, I joined this company for 2 weeks or 1 month and then I quit. So all these things all come into play. Come talk to us.
Yeah, do you tell or do you not tell? Confess or not confess?
Yeah, it's a matter of how long.
It's a piece of string.
It's a piece of string. How long you were there? How much info you want to give? So, once again, it's very subjective. Come talk to us.
Extremely
Okay?
subjective.
But I think the whole idea is that you will encounter that oh crap stage.
Yeah.
What have I done? What have I gotten myself into?
Hopefully the crap's not too deep, but we know why the grass is green.
Yeah.
So attractive organizations, watch out for that, because there's a lot of fertilizer happening on the back end. So it makes the grass very healthy, and when we look across the fence, the grass is greener on the other side. That's because the crap is very deep.
I have a friend who is a very experienced business process re-engineering / operations improvement, change management sort of role. And on her, whenever she introduces herself at parties, she has a very nice elevator pitch. She goes, I'm actually a plumber. I said, what do you mean you're a plumber?
I clean chokes.
Yeah, I clean chokes. I basically clean any leftover debris,
I fix things.
detritus, whatever is there. That's stuck in there for months, and basically I go in and I clean stuff. So
That's a terrible introduction.
it's a terrible, but it's so
Terrible
funny.
introduction.
It's so funny.
Yeah.
But the point is, if you approach a mindset that I'm here to fix problems, I'm not. No one hires you for just to sit there and look pretty.
Yes, unless you're modeling next to the cars and you're trying to sell the cars.
Yeah. A lot of times you're there to fix a problem, and
Yeah.
that problem is
Yeah.
a pile of it's a
Something you need to clean up, or something you need to straighten out, or something that helps make more money.
Yeah, and
So,
when you do clean it up, that's what you're being paid for. So
Exactly.
be resilient when you encounter that oh poop moment.
And
think
be
about it.
agile.
Yeah,
Yeah.
be agile. And if by the poop is just too much to shovel, or they give you a scoop that's too small, come talk to us, okay? Because
We'll give you tools,
you'll be tools.
a tiny teaspoon to clean.
And ultimately,
I think enough shit jokes, lah, huh?
enough shit jokes. Okay, enough poop jokes. Friday morning poop jokes. Okay, but ultimately, stage 3 is where you overcome the shock and the grief,
Yes.
and you sit down. Okay, we need to figure things out.
Yes.
How do we get ourselves out of this?
So we have strategies that we share with our clients. There are lots and lots of ideas that will help you, and a lot of scaffolding to help you kind of very quickly gain control. And that's what we want to do, right?
Yeah.
Gain control over your current environment, figure out your own workflow, figure out who the key stakeholders really are, because sometimes it's not what it seems. Who's going to help you influence your work,
Yeah.
your game, or your strategy, and so gain control really quickly.
So
Yeah.
my question is this:
Yes.
In an office setting,
Yes.
who is the most powerful person in the office?
The personal assistant to the VP, the office manager, or the receptionist.
The pantry auntie.
Yeah, they have a lot of informal power.
Yeah, and they got a lot
Yeah,
of
makes sense.
information.
And they can poison your food, so you got to be careful.
Gee, that's why my tummy's not so good today. Oh no! But they have a lot of information and knowledge.
They
as well.
do, they do.
They know they got the lowdown. They got all the gossip as well as to why someone behaves. That
I think
way.
they understand the power dynamics a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't piss off. I had this individual I know who pissed off the receptionist. And turns out the receptionist was the sister of the boss.
Wow. Wow.
Not a good
wow,
thing to do.
wow.
So sometimes
That's a great story. A cautionary tale.
cautionary tale.
That if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at
Yeah.
all. Or I mean,
the receptionist is so stupid, man. It must be genetic. Kind of funny. It's like, oh no.
that's bad. But yeah, I mean, if you have nothing nice to say, don't
So
say
how
it.
how long a time do you think it should take for you to figure things out?
I don't know, as quickly as possible. Really, as quickly as possible. So ask lots of questions. Try not to be overly intrusive as well. So fine line, lots of minefields. Be
One of the
careful.
things that I always advise our clients when they join a new company is don't be too smart.
Yeah, try not to stick your neck out
Yeah.
too big, because you get shot.
Yeah, you get shot.
You get
Yeah.
shot at by the snipers.
And sometimes, I think one of the biggest annoyances is that, oh, in my old company we did this
Yes,
style,
yes.
therefore you must do it this way because in my old company we did this, in my old company we did that.
Yeah.
that
Yeah. You talk about that a lot too, Adrian.
Yeah,
You
in my
do
old
it a lot.
company.
Back in the day.
Back in the day when I was high, so
We did it
so,
this way.
Yeah.
No.
So I think people don't want to hear too much of that unless you really have a great idea. Okay. And also don't be too adventurous. Don't do too many things too soon. Even though you're supposed to get small wins. You
Yes.
don't do too many things too soon. Otherwise
Yeah.
you will get
Yeah.
what we call
Yeah.
organ rejection.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when you try to shake things up too much, then you become the common enemy. So even though there are factions, the factions are grouped together against you, and that might not help.
Oh, that's so sad. Suddenly it's like, oh, maybe that's why
Right.
you were hired in.
Yeah.
To rally everyone
To
against a
become-
common
Common enemy.
common enemy. That's so sad. Oh man, that's so sad. But these are things that if you are facing difficulties in, just drop us an email, info@careeragility.org. It takes time to figure things out, okay? And the faster you figure out, the better. And it's not just figuring
Yeah.
out what in terms of processes. You got to figure out the who, you got to figure out the when,
And figure out the why.
and the why. Why is it done
Yeah.
this way? And a lot of dynamics. That's
A
why,
lot of dynamics.
That's why you need to give yourself
and you're kind of
time.
vulnerable because the arrows are coming from all directions.
Yeah.
It's not just 360, it's 360 three-dimensionally.
Fourth dimension. I have no idea.
Is there a fourth wall?
Fourth dimension as in
You can tell Adrian's not in his right mind.
The time
His
constraint, yeah.
ADHD is showing up.
yeah, it's Friday, so it's okay.
It's a Friday morning.
Friday morning. So take time to figure things out, but you do need to figure things out okay?
Quickly, yeah.
Very quickly. Good idea is get
And
a
we'll give you, and if you do come to us, we'll provide you with the structures for it.
Yeah, that's right. And after a while, you'll probably get some traction. Okay, hopefully you'll get some traction.
Yeah.
And when I think one of the most important things is if you handle, I think a lot of times it's more the people rather than the processes.
I don't know about that, because sometimes you're hired to do to make something happen. For example, I might hire a specific salesperson because he's got the connections to a specific key account. And so very, very quickly, I'm expecting you to make introductions.
Especially if during the interview you say, "Oh, I know the CEO of
whatever
Starhub
ABC
or whatever it is.
company,
Oh
and
no,
yes.
this guy, the MD, the
Yeah,
founder is my best
yeah.
friend. I golf with
Yeah.
him." Then the boss said, "Okay, can we arrange for lunch?"
We're friends. I'm the one over here.
Far away. Yeah.
We're very close.
They're like
I-
this. One over there. So,
Oh,
so
it's
yeah, especially I think if you oversold
so
yourself
so
during the
getting
interview.
traction is where, like you said earlier, just having some small wins, and then when you've got those small wins, they become nucleuses for further growth, and you can build more crystals on top of that. And it's
Wow, you're very scientific this morning, huh?
I don't know. I think it's the coffee. Yeah. I'm in one of those moods. I'm like, yay! But anyway,
So-
getting traction is really about building on your small wins, but not making too much change.
I think so. And once you get traction, let the momentum pull you through. Once again, it's gonna be difficult because it's hard to sustain, and it's
Yeah.
once again it falls back again to the old poop moment. It's like, oh shucks, no. So
Yeah.
it's something which we recommend in small doses.
Yeah, and it's not. Just remember, it's not always going to be a constant linear progress. There's progress, and then there's a little bit of back steps,
Yeah.
like stepping back. Sorry, not backstab.
Back steps.
But back steps. So that sometimes 2 steps forward, 1 step back, and then another half a step back, and then another 2 steps forward. So
Isn't that like a
it's a as long as
it's like-
the upward there's a progressive trend, and I think you're going to be okay. Getting traction, I think, is also about gaining control really quickly, and there are strategies involved in how you can quickly learn the ropes. Easier said than done, especially if you're a lot more senior, and you realize that when you come on board quite senior. A quick tip to our listeners out there: pay attention to perhaps somebody who may have wanted that job but didn't get it. They hired you instead. So what's going to happen in that dynamic? Right? Someone put his hand up for that position. He didn't get it. They hired you. So
you
you've
got to
be
watch out
very
for
careful.
when the person gives you coffee. Look for an extra froth.
Oh, maybe there's some extra laxatives or something.
Or he gives you a data file. Make sure you check it properly. There's no wrong
knows?
data in there.
Yeah.
It happened once. One of my clients.
No kidding.
Yeah, he way back when.
Somebody slashed his tires?
Someone saboed him, gave him bad data to work with, so that he embarrassed himself in front of the boss, in front of the bosses.
Wow.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's bad. That's evil.
That's evil.
That's evil.
That's evil. That's brilliant though, but that's evil. It's playing the Game of Thrones.
It is exactly like the Game of Thrones.
It's kind of sabot.
Yeah.
So after that, he was extra careful with that person. The actual thing happened was that he was given an outdated data file.
Right,
Not the
right,
freshest.
right,
It was
right.
like about 6 months old data.
And when he was doing the presentation, he can't be pointing fingers.
Yeah, and he could not. And the worst thing was he spent like a week working on that data.
No.
So basically, he had to go back to the drawing board. He was
due
pissed off.
diligence.
He knew who did it. Okay, and so
That's tough. So
Drama,
anyway,
drama.
we help our clients gain traction quickly with I guess playbooks that helps you with just identifying what you don't know, because sometimes what we don't know might just hurt us.
Yeah.
If you know it and you can preempt it, then it helps you gain control a lot quicker.
that's true.
Yeah.
That's true. And finally, when you look at everything's all after the honeymoon period is over, when the wind blows over everything, all the dust, the cobwebs are all cleared, and you've cleaned up the mess your predecessor left. It's good. You accept that this is a new role. It's going to be challenging,
But it's gonna be okay.
But it's going to be okay. Ultimately, it's going to be okay.
And when you will feel that, you'll feel that a lot better when the next rookie joins the team.
Oh,
And then you're no longer the new kid on the block.
no longer, yeah.
And that in terms of the power dynamics, the personalities and all that, you're now the fixture. You're one of the
Yeah,
fixtures,
now
and then
you're-
the rookie is the one who's going to be within firing range.
Yeah, you're one of the old birds, as we call it in the
Yeah.
army. So it's gonna. The road when you join a new organization is never going to be smooth. It's going to be bumpy. The whole idea is, how do I make the bumps less painful, the amplitude of the curve less painful, and how do I shorten the curve so it's not so prolonged, so that I can reach this stage 5 of acceptance and growth as soon as possible.
Yeah, I think in general language we call this the learning curve as well. If you can get through that bumpy, there's a little bit of a bump. In my experience, I've placed individuals who have felt very dispossessed because they came from, say, an environment that was very friendly and very nice, and then they grew up in that environment and they realized they needed to grow. Then they join a large organization where the teams are very decentralized, or a large organization where there's a different way, a different culture, and this individual is just finding it really hard. Sometimes it can take months. And remember this individual, it's
Yes.
one of our clients from
Yes.
a long time ago, who was calling you every other another week going like, Adrian, I want to resign. Adrian, I got to resign. In my experience, one of my clients that I placed, it took him 3 months, and he told me, Yen, I spent the first 3 months doing a lot of retail therapy. See how much I've spent. And he showed me all the electronics that he was buying because he just needed to have an outlet. It was very, very tough. But after the hump, then things were okay. Because I think this is an adjustment period. So, trying to stave off organ rejection, it takes a bit of time and effort.
I think so too.
And a lot of steroids.
Cyclosporin, that's the one. For organ rejection. Anyway.
Okay.
Next. So what's happening is this. The bottom line is this. If you are joining a new company, okay, the transition will not always be very smooth. It will never be stress-free, but it's going to be tough. The analogy we like to use is that it's like buying a new pair of shoes. Okay,
yes.
And you ladies should know better.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay. Basically, buy a new pair of shoes. It takes a while for you to wear the shoe in, and it's gonna hurt for a while. But after a while, the shoe fits you. You fit the shoe, and voila, you're comfortable.
I like to say that in the world we live in today, that there's more acceptance for sneakers. So us women, we don't wear heels anymore.
I agree. And I think that's the smartest thing in terms of office wear to do.
So my shoes are very comfortable. I don't know what you're talking about.
Okay.
But that's a great analogy.
I think so.
It is about gaining traction and getting control and being and just having that awareness that things are not going to be smooth. And so if you have an open mind, stay agile, stay resilient, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, and once again, if you have any questions, come talk to us. We've been deluged with a lot of really useful, really interesting questions, and it's amazing how sometimes even just one phone call, one conversation helps to clear things up. So if you want to have some very good advice, not just for myself or from Yen, just drop us an email, info@careeragility.org. We have 1 hour sessions which are quite popular now, and so it might take some time before you can book a slot with us, but do reach out to us and we'll try to accommodate you. If it's really urgent, we'll make time for you.
Yeah. Let us know how we can help. But also, if any of our Spotify sessions or our previous videos help you, then I'm happy. Yeah. Job done.
And talking about Spotify, if you're not already on Spotify, please look for The Career Strategist on Spotify. We put all our 60 programs on it, and lots of useful information in there. And please share. And I think if you do have questions, sometimes just scrolling through our previous Spotify episodes, you might actually get the answers to those.
That's our CSR done. Yay!
Yeah.
Good karma out to the universe.
And on that note, we just want to wish you a happy weekend, a happy weekend ahead.
It's exam seasons to all parents who have kids who are going through exams. Good luck. We do our best to give them comfort and support, build them up, give them some confidence, and
give them lots of tuition
and keep nagging them to sleep more.
In the meantime, have a good weekend here, everyone, and catch you again next week. Same time, same place. Have a great one. Bye.
Did you know that blindly mailing